Okay, all right, here we are. Week 7, 6, 5,
something like that. I don't know.
We're way far into this. We only got a couple episodes left. Welcome, Ringside Wrestling. Chris, sitting beside me as always, is Steve. Okay, as of right now, Rush should be going on the air.
Wait, don't change the channel to a shot.
Because we have results. Okay. Triple H versus The Big Show goes to a double disqualification. Shelton Benjamin over Eugene. Tori Wilson over Ashley over Tori Wilson. What else is there?
John Cena and Edge. John Cena wins.
Okay, RVD over Chris Masters. Shawn Michaels does not retire, and the shocker of the night, Bret Hart will be inducted into the Hall of Fame.
And for next week's lineup, it's going to be Shelton Benjamin versus Ric Flair for the Intercontinental title. And also it's going to be RVD, the winner of the RVD Chris Masters match, against Triple H and Big Show. That match will determine the #1 contender for WrestleMania.
Okay, alright, so now we got that out of the way. You don't have to watch Raw. Watch us or, something else. Anyways, Steve, what do you got?
TNA Christian. You can see the shirt, you heard the music. He won the title. He finally did it after 12 long years of being in the business. What do you think?
I give him a week.
You gotta be kidding me. He deserves this. Come on. After all those years of being mid-card status.
Look at Edge. He got 2 weeks.
Come on, don't bring Edge into it. That's not right.
I give Christian a week, but I gave Rhino 2 weeks. That was too much.
Also, Samoa Joe in the the X Division match with AJ Styles and Christopher Daniels. Samoa Joe picks up the victory. He did not lose. The undefeated streak is still intact.
Okay.
We saw this coming.
Yeah, we saw this coming. The plans right now is next pay-per-view is Destination X. Mm-hmm. The big plan is to have them go at it again. It's going to be an Ultimate X match. Like we were talking about this before, I just don't see Samoa Joe climbing those cables to try to get that belt down.
Definitely not, dude.
Anyways, but look for Joe to win that, and then also the month after that, the pay-per-view coming up after Destination X is going to be Lockdown, which is the full steel cage pay-per-view. They do every match inside of a cage, and that is supposed to be the final match between the 3 of these guys.
They're going to extend it to that?
Yes. We got to put up another 2 months of this. It's Chris Benoit, Shawn Michaels, and Triple H all over again.
What else? TNA, Bill Goldberg. Everyone's always calling up asking about Goldberg.
We talked about this a couple weeks ago.
Bill Goldberg was on Bubba the Love Sponge radio show and radio show syndication in Florida around there, or Sirius Radio. I don't know. He was saying that if Spike TV wanted to invest their money in something good, then to give him a call, and he would probably try to talk about going back just to help TNA compete with WWE.
All right, line 1.
Hi, Chris.
Yes?
Do you have an older brother?
No, I don't.
Yeah, something's funny with that guy.
Yeah, very odd. Anyways. Wow.
Mine too.
Yeah.
Hello? Okay,
that sounds really loud. Anyways, what were we talking about?
Goldberg. TNA.
Alright, Goldberg TNA. We talked about it a couple weeks ago. Yeah, he did mention something if the price is right, he would go. He would go there. He actually has been in talks with Sting numerous times about going there and helping them out, but I guess we'll see what happens. TNA has been talking about how they need to bring bigger names in to draw more people, but
it's all talk.
It is.
Yeah.
It really is.
It's happening soon just to help them out.
I don't know. I'm kind of sick of Goldberg.
Goldberg took a cheap shot at WWE. Check this out. He said that they blew it in his WrestleMania 20 match with Brock Lesnar. The hell do you think he means by that?
They had Austin come out on top. I don't know.
Yeah, well, the whole fans were chanting, you suck and you sold out, so
yeah.
I guess he pretty much ruined it for himself.
I guess. Anyways. Okay, we've been talking about the past couple weeks about Saturday Night's Main Event.
Yeah.
Okay, March 18th is when they're actually doing the taping. I don't know exactly when it's going to air, but that's when the taping is scheduled for. Apparently, don't look, for a throwback of the old show. They're going to try to stay as far away from it as far as, like, the production value and everything is gone. Okay. Like, that way, it's going to be, like, a more modern special that they're doing. So, I mean, it's going to be definitely more today rather than before.
And it's going to be both, like, shows.
I guess so. Apparently, it's going to be a joint production between SmackDown and Raw. It's going to be a certain amount of SmackDown guys are going to be there and a certain amount of Raw guys. I don't, I've been talking about this. We've been talking about this the past couple weeks. I don't know where they're going with this. If it's going to be basically like a kind of like a Heat and Velocity where it's going to be a lot of up-and-comers, or if they're actually going to treat it as a main event show like the original was.
I think it just might be a special. Like, not a whole Raw and SmackDown like every week. It'll just be a special where you have a certain group of guys from Raw, a certain group of guys from SmackDown coming to this one show, maybe like competing against each other, like a pay-per-view where they do the multi-brand inter-promotional matches. Hopefully they play it off like that, because that's what they do in, like, you know, for the Survivor Series or Royal Rumbles or WrestleManias, and it draws people's attention.
Right. Well, we'll see what happens. So, I mean, that happens in another month, a couple weeks, actually a month, almost exactly, and we'll see where that goes. For the news, Tim White is still trying to kill himself.
Really? What
Yeah.
do you do with something?
He shot himself in the head.
With what?
With a gun. What else is he going to do?
And they didn't show it, right?
Actually, you can see the reflection in the mirror. You gotta watch it. Go to WWE.com. There's a whole selection of stuff up there you can watch.
Nah, I gotta check that one.
Yeah. There's not really a lot to talk about this week, so people call in.
Chris Kanyon, remember that guy?
Yeah.
He's gay. I'm not saying that just to make fun of him. He came out and said he's gay. He admitted it on an interview that they did with him. I don't know how they got into his sexuality, but he came out and admitted he's gay. If you don't remember him, he's the guy who came out with DDP. He was like, who better than Kanyon? Yeah, that's right. Kanyon's gay. Anyway, moving right along.
Late breaking news. Okay. Anyways, let's see if there's anybody there. Okay. All right. Come on, people. We usually get a lot of calls by this time. Bob Orton.
Yeah.
His father has been released from...
I heard about that. You know?
I don't know. They haven't posted anything. The only thing that they had is on the website as far as anything was that World Wrestling Entertainment has come to terms with a release on Bob Orton.
Well, he really hasn't been.
Yeah,
he really hasn't been on TV or any storylines lately, so kind of saw it happening.
So, other than that, we'll be. Let's see what they do at Randy.
Other one.
You're on the air.
Hey, what's up, guys?
How's it going?
What's up, buddy?
Hold on. TNA favorite was pretty good. You know, I like the Vic, Rhino match. Chris, I know you said the only good thing at TNA, against all odds was going to be a triple threat match. Come on. Tell me that you did not like the Vic Rhino match. Come on.
I didn't actually watch the pay-per-view, but I did see the highlight video. I did see a bitch get tackled off of the balcony and through the center table, so I mean that was pretty cool, but once again I'm sticking by my original statement, so...
Hey, was that the only high spot in the match?
No, actually, there's one part when Rhino took a trophy, put it between the legs of a bitch and just took a baseball bat and whacked him.
No
I can't say that. Shut your mouth.
There was one part when a bitch just broke a kettle stick over the head of Rhino. That was like, you know, one of the good parts. And this got gore into a table, you know, as Rhino does with the, you know, table in the corner of the ring. You know, that was about it.
Yeah, they'll probably be showing replays of that all week long. I know they were showing it before I got here because I was watching the X Division match, so I know they'll be showing replays like probably throughout the weekend.
Yeah, it's been like really big. It was an overall good pay-per-view. I thought that, you know, Christian Cage, Mr. Captain Charisma, I agree with Chris. I actually gave him 72 hours.
What? You gotta be kidding me. You're not a fan of Captain Charisma?
No, I love Captain Charisma, but
Damn straight.
hey, he's going to stick to him because if you look at TNA's title history, they stick with, I believe Ken Shamrock was their first champ. I don't know if they're thinking with that, but if you look at it, it went Ron the Truth Killings, and it goes Chef Jarrett. They stopped that for 2 days, Chef Jarrett. That's what's going to happen. I think next month it's going to be a triple threat match. It's going to be Monty Brown, Chef Jarrett, and Christian Cage. They're going to, you know, do their thing, and I want to see Christian Cage get pounced up, you know, as...
Yeah, you're kidding me.
I don't know.
I got a question to rise up to both of you guys. Why isn't Samoa Joe champ? He is not X Division material.
Because
Samoa Joe should be heavyweight champ.
Because Jeff Jarrett doesn't want to deal with it. That's exactly what it is. They brought that up a very long time ago. They said the only reason that Joe's X Division champion is because Jeff Jarrett doesn't want to
But
wrestle.
if you realize that Samoa Joe is not X Division.
Yeah, it's Samoa Joe. He's the real deal. He goes out night in and night out and you know, gets the job done.
Exactly.
I mean, Samoa Joe, I like to see him with the TNA belt, but, you know, also if you want to look at his finishing move, I heard someone on SmackDown, Finley does that little luchador, which I understand, but what's going on with Finley? What is he doing in SmackDown? You guys must be going to get rid of him?
I don't know what they're doing with him.
He's taking up the time that Mr. Kennedy should be taking up.
Exactly.
So when Mr. Kennedy gets back, they will be replacing Finley with Mr. Kennedy.
Kennedy.
That's it.
Yeah.